Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And today we are joined. We need to start saying before.
I think that if people want to come on the show, they should at least be big enough fans that they've watched, 50, 100 episodes already, so they know the format.
People often say to me, I watch the ones with the movies I know, but what they don't know is that I see all. And unless, for some reason, like Indecent Proposal is our biggest episode because it's in somebody's, and I've checked it out, and it's in like somebody's playlist of Indecent Proposal things, and it's like a couple of scenes, and it's the trailer. Have you seen Indecent Proposal, David?
I have not.
It's not great.
That's one of my picks.
The inherent.
I'll have to watch the podcast episode though.
There you go.
The decision of Indecent Proposal is that Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore are in Las Vegas and they're broke. And then suddenly Robert Redford, a suave millionaire, obviously very handsome, he's Robert Redford, says, I will pay you $1 million for a night with Demi Moore. Now, what do you choose, David?
Oh, good Lord.
Demi Moore's into it. Demi Moore's into it. So the partner, it's not a question of consent.
I'm always going to go for the option when I get to sleep with Robert Redford, I guess.
He's not optioned you. He's optioned you. I think multiple times in the Indecent Proposal podcast, I go, I'd fuck Robert Redford. And then
anyone who says they wouldn't is lying.
Oh, yeah. Are you more of a Newman or a Redford person, David?
Redford's the one I know best, so I guess I'd have to say Redford.
Paul Newman. I was going to say, are you a butch man or a Sundance? How many connotations? Will, this is your fortnight, as I mean, our blocks and the way I timetable things is partly superfluous, but the way we do things is that eventually we do have a fortnight, which is specific. So in the case of your block of your choices, all your choices, I couldn't even get Planes, Trains and Automobiles in, which is a movie that you really, really like, but are just spiteful. Apparently, you just wouldn't allow any movie that I would vaguely mention. Anyway, your fortnight is Aardman Animation.
Experts say that 73% of household accidents happen in one particular room.
Be seeing you, my friend.
Have you seen my dad? From the creators of Shrek and Madagascar comes the story of a pampered pet mouse. And his first time out of the house.
What is this place?
It's an amazing world right under our feet.
It's a real city.
But there's one thing he knows.
I have got to get home. The captain of the Jammy Dodger might be able to help you.
Now,
hello, handsome.
He's making a deal.
Your own hand.
And getting involved.
Boss, we're back.
With the wrong crowd.
He's a madman! Run away!
Run! We have entered the world of Aardman before with Chicken Run, which I believe, not to put a downer on the fortnight, is your favourite, and we're all downhill from there.
Oh, that's an awful way to phrase it. I'll agree. Chicken Run, is my favourite Aardman, but they're all great. Aardman they should have an Aardman world like Disney World.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be great.
Have you been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach? Where
I have. There's the Wallace and Gromit ride.
No, I was talking to David. No, I'm kidding.
Down here, he's being chased.
You may now kiss the bride.
Back home,
Look at the size of that monster.
he's being replaced.
I will be the best pet ever. rodents.
And the mouse who's never been on his own is learning to face danger on a fantastic journey home.
There are things I want to do, sights I want to see.
That's not one of them.
Hey! Faster, you idiots! All right, boss. Keep your legs straight when you hit the water. I kept my legs straight, Spike. Oh.
Flushed away.
I think I could learn to like this place.
For those of you who don't know, David's from Florida, so he most likely hasn't been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
I have no concept of what that even is.
You know what Wallace and Gromit is?
Yes. Oh God, I loved their shorts as a kid. The one where they go to the moon and it's actually made entirely out of cheese was one of my very favorite things to watch as a kid. And of course, Chicken Run is the single greatest animated endorsement of socialism that's ever been put to screen.
And if Mel Gibson loves one thing, it's socialism. The hits keep coming today. Okay, yeah, no, Aardman. I didn't realize. So obviously, David, I mentioned Flushed Away in passing. No, that's not true. You were looking at my DVDs, and you looked past my beautiful Brian De Palma collection and didn't mention any of them, and then you went straight for Flushed Away. Now, Will, we have had parties, and obviously I have a load of DVDs, and in my previous lodging, we would have parties or whatever, and my room was bigger than the others, and the whole joke was that I had no idea how to design it or make it look livable, which is fine by me. I'm fine living in a hospital quarters. But anyway, the point is that people would always come in, and they'd always go, "Oh, look at all these DVDs," because it's a feature. And they'd always look at all the DVDs, and every single fucking person would look. I have every goddamn Sidney Lumet movie you've ever seen. Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon. I've got them all there. I've got every fucking David Mamet written thing, all the Mike Nichols movies. I have an incredible, all the Twilight Zones. And you know what they always go for? Fucking Flushed Away and Ratatouille and all the Wallace and Gromit movies ready for this pissing thing.
Animated animals will always beat out amazing dialogue.
Did Creature Comfort ever break America, David?
I'm not. I haven't heard of that one, so probably not. But
was that Aardman, Will, or was that something else?
That's their first Oscar winner. It's very British, is that one?
That's very British.
Yeah,
even more British than this and Chicken Run. David, I won't say I was surprised that Flushed Away was a movie that you really liked, but what's your relationship with Flushed Away? Because to me, all of the Aardman movies are so perennially British and quintessential. But speak to it.
I think really the only reason I have any relationship with Aardman animation is because my dad is an animator. We watched a good amount of their stuff because they're some of the best in the business at claymation and sort of stop motion animation. And Flushed Away, I think, was their first CGI picture because they were going to have such a heavily water-based movie, and it's really, really hard to do water with stop motion puppets. I like Flushed Away. Really liked. I don't know, might be a strong word, but it's a fun movie. It's a good time.
Was yesterday or this morning the first time you'd watched it since you were a child?
No, I think I watched it at some point as an adult, but not in several years now.
This was the first time I'd watched it since being a child. And I was surprised by how many little things I remember. I must have watched it a couple of times as a child. So this is 2006. It is indeed their first CGI animated film. Bit of a flop. It made back. Well, no, it doesn't. Well, right. With budgets, you have to then double it for marketing. So in that sense, it did not make its money back. So 149 million budget. It made 178 million. This was Aardman's first and last collaboration with DreamWorks. Oh, pardon me. At the Annie Awards, which are the big animation awards, it won writing in a feature production and voice acting in a feature production. Their ensemble awards. In the grand scheme of Aardman, Will, where does Flushed Away sit for you?
This is right at the top. I mean, it's grown on me. I mean, I watch it many times every year. And it
Like me and the Godfathers.
Yeah.
Very similar. Very similar.
I will sit down and watch this and The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah, no, it's interesting. It was only last week we did The Prestige. And
I was going to say all of this.
We were in agreement that maybe The Prestige is Hugh Jackman's greatest performance. I think this is a high contender.
Both 2006, both Hugh Jackman doing British voice, both with Andy Serkis.
Yes.
And that is where the similarities end. But yes, it's a pretty good accent. I think it's helped by the fact that it's just his voice. Yeah. I think he sits into it. It doesn't start. It weirdly gets better. And so, woo, Roddy. It's a bit bizarre. The trademark of all these Aardman movies, and I think after Shrek, the trademark of all animated movies is the stacked cast, and this is no exception. We've got Hugh Jackman, Kate Winslet, Ian McKellen, Jean Reno, Bill Nighy, Andy Serkis, Shane Ritchie, Kathy Burke, even David Suchet pops in for like what could have only been 2 hours work max. Miriam Margolyes, that I presume they just copy and pasted every time she said Tom Jones. Did you like all the Tom Jones gags, David? Is Tom Jones big in America?
I recognize the fact that she was freaking out over some manner of British rock star music type person, but
Welsh rock star.
Sorry,
as somebody who's dating a Welsh person,
I know, I'm going to be in very much trouble. But this goes to show that even the niche British humor that doesn't necessarily land for me, it's still a funny and entertaining enough movie that I can enjoy the ride, essentially. Even though I do think some of the like specifically British stuff tends to go over my head at times.
The Hugh Jackman just can't even. Hugh Jackman, the Greatest Showman, can't even resist singing "She's a Lady." Just like
she's a lady.
Very, very Hugh Jackman. It's the way he sings it. He goes full opera, and we love it.
I just can't. He just can't even attempt to be. Apparently, Roddy is just one of the finest Broadway showmen. He just couldn't resist making it more realistic. Well, we've retired YouTube comments because it's always bad.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's just you reading funny things out that you've seen probably a week prior, and me going, ah.
But we haven't retired the Katrina Unit 1-star review comment. Only for the brainless. Let's just say it in simple words so that even the makers of this film might have a chance to understand. This is a very dumb film with an even dumber script, lame animation, and a story that's about as original as Thumbtacks.
Lame animation, I will not stand for. This is some pretty impressive CGI work.
Then they start using our words, which we can't use anymore, but your clue is Forrest Gump. Unless you need to find some way to entertain a group of mentally Forrest Gump adults or extremely slow children, don't bother. That is one hell of a sentence to describe a pretty fine film. It just appears like I read a whole Prestige review, which was just fine, and then at the end, this is worse than Al Qaeda. They just throw it in at the end. Do not, under any circumstances, see this pure excuse for an animated film. Fans of the completely terrible Shrek might enjoy, but Wallace and Gromit fans will probably turn away in disgust. Now, is there a bit of a point there? Because I'll be honest, when it first started and the humans looked atrocious.
Well, this is why when they collaborated with DreamWorks, they're at the stage currently where they still can't animate people, which is why you get your sort of Tom and Jerry cut off halfway.
Yeah.
But I think that animation-wise, the best thing about this is it's CG, but it's made to look like claymation. Still, they're still keeping in their subject area. That's the cool bit.
I think they stick true to. Sorry, Tom. They stick true to the style for sure. It's not Wallace and Gromit. It's an action comedy romp through the sewers of London. You know, it's not going to be quaint English village and the man with his dog going on a quaint adventure. It's an entirely different,
So
piece.
I forgot it was CGI, and so when this first started, I thought, ooh, and my then thought was, oh yeah, it becomes claymation when he goes down in the sewer. But I was wrong again. That was my thought. Like the Wizard of Oz, just like, oh, goodbye. My favorite. I know when I'm with musical theatre people, because they'll have all been in a terrible amateur production of Wizard of Oz, and anytime people leave, I go goodbye, and they'll either laugh or go, oh yeah, see you. And Will, do you remember when I took my ex to a party that you were hosting, and it was full of your musical theatre people, and you did for me and girlfriend were sat watching you? Was it? I can't remember. You did the full routines to multiple numbers that you'd done.
Oh yeah. You were a bit of an outcast because this was the sort of the company as well. So we were all in those musical numbers together.
Yes,
it was great. That was the first time you came to my house as well.
That was true.
But
then me and the ex did steal the show, because we then performed from Evita. I'd be surprisingly good for you. And let's just say that the mood was erotic.
I think that the best part of that story, after that, she then got fed up. But you carried on, and you then did A Little Priest all on your own.
I did do that. I thought you were talking about the relationship, because you also got fed up with that as well. Ha ha! Jesus Christ. The trailers of this DVD took me back to a good old golden age. We had Charlotte's Web with Dakota Fanning, and we had Over the Hedge with.
Oh, what a movie!
Oh, good God, that's a movie I have not seen in many years.
Over there. Well, so did you remember? Oh no, I'm going to save that for Soundtrack Corner. But Over the Hedge, yeah, an even more stacked cast: Bruce Willis, Gary Shandling, William Shatner, Alison Janney, Nick Nolte, Eugene Levy, Omid Djalali, Catherine O'Hara.
Good God.
Yeah. Where do they? I mean, I know where they get it. It's money, and it's an hour's work, so of course they can get whoever they want. But I feel like Aardman is a step above. Like with Over the Hedge, I listening to the trailer again, you can tell that Bruce Willis doesn't care. Whereas I feel with the voice acting in this, I think there's a great craft to it and a great enjoyment.
But also, I think the special thing for Aardman movies for me is the script. I think it's very, very, very witty dialogue.
Yeah, I think there are some genuinely funny lines and clever moments in this script. And I mean, you're right, Tom. It is so clear that the voice actors are engaged in this piece. I mean, just look at the Toad. Ian McKellen is clearly having the absolute time of his life, voicing this villain.
Is this our first Ian McKellen film, Will?
No, it can't be. It can't.
It will be, because neither of us are Lord of the Rings people. David is the biggest Lord of the Rings. I can only presume that he's.
Oh, this means I can do my Ian McKellen story.
Yeah, this will be your first time doing your Ian McKellen story. Well,
I met Ian McKellen.
Soundtrack Corner. We You met Ian McKellen.
Yeah. We so it's behind. It's a bit out of. For my final GCSE art piece, I did a portrait of Ian McKellen, painted it, and then he was in No Man's Land with Patrick Stewart at Sheffield Lyceum.
Lovely.
And we went and we emailed. It was terrible. We emailed the stage manager. Just said, "Oh, I've done this painting of Sir Ian," and they emailed back saying he loves it and he'd like to meet you. So I this massive A1 painting. Had to hold it for the entire performance in the gods of the Lyceum. So it's, and then afterwards, I went to stage door. Patrick came out and he came up to us and said, "No, we want to speak to Ian." So Patrick,
where's my picture?
Yeah, and then Ian came over and he said, "Oh, now, hello, William. What would you like to be when you're older?" And I had to lie to him and tell him that I wanted to be an actor. And it broke my heart, but he loved it.
Why didn't you say? Well, at that time, was it nuanced enough to say set design?
Oh no, it was architecture at that point, and he would have been.
You could have said painting.
I want to be a painter.
Want to be a painter. Where's the little boy who did my painting?
It'll be
Poor Patrick Stewart.
Retirement home. Where's that boy?
Paint me once more. Paint me. I'm going to commission you to paint. David, do you have any famous people? I think I've told my Sally Field story multiple times on this show.
Oh, good Lord. None that I remember. I apparently did an audition as a 4-year-old with Kevin Bacon to potentially play his son in a movie. And then
maybe that was the cover. Maybe it was The Woodsman. Maybe it was the pedophile movie. And they just had to tell you.
You never know.
And you just remembered it wrong. Woodsman, great movie. Everybody go watch The Woodsman. It's not laugh a minute, but it's good.
It's certainly not flushed away, is it?
No, it's not. It doesn't have a... No, halfway through, he doesn't go, "I feel so bad about what I did. Get in the Ratmobile! Diddly diddly!"
That's in my notes.
I was going to say, I've not written multiple notes because I know that they are your notes.
I've never written so much.
Box office, we've talked about the box office. Best 10-minute stretch. Let's get into the body of the film. I don't have any 10-minute stretches. Will, we're in your hands.
So I've gone Flushed Away, coming into the world, and then meeting Rita. I think that 10-minute stretch. I've also gone the 10 minutes of Le Frog. I think excellent. We leave immediately, but what about lunch? We leave in 5 hours. It's great. It's great. And then the flood, I think, the big climactic end.
See, I mean, we've got lots of World Cup humour to talk about. We are fresh off a Euro failure.
I absolutely love the shot of the newspaper at the end that shows England losing by penalties.
It's it's prophetic. Why didn't nobody do that as a meme or a Twitter or a Facebook? Sounds so old. Of like Flushed Away predicted the Euros. But literally, I could not remember a single thing about this film. Well, no, I remembered a bunch of things. But then things started coming back to me, like David and Kevin Bacon, but it was a delayed laugh. I was worried there a moment. But the minute that I read World Cup final, I thought, oh yeah, they're going to do the toilet thing, because this is of course true. In England, we did have a water shortage in 1966 in the half time, because everybody was holding their wee, and we had a full water shortage.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we'd have one now.
Just a way to actually have something based in fact.
We have it's like when the adverts are on for Corrie, the national grid put a massive energy spike in, because that's when everyone goes and boils the kettles.
Surely, it's like Christmas Vacation when he has to put the emergency nuclear. I don't have any other 10-minute. Yeah, I don't have any 10-minute stretches. David, do you have any 10-minute stretches?
I think probably for me, the riverboat sort of chase scene on the Jammy Dodger when LaFrog's henchmen kind of catch up. I always love the sequence with the mime doing the phone call with the Toad, like doing the FaceTime while he acts out what he's saying. I just think it's really clever animation. And I love any scenes on the Jammy Dodger because anytime you're looking at that boat, you notice little things like, the engine being made out of bike chain and like trumpet buttons and like the Heinz beans can attached to the air horn. And I like any sort of sequence that takes place on that boat because there's always like little bits and pieces that I think are really clever kind of thrown into the design.
There's a lot of that when we see the fate, when we see Sewer London, the big thing.
I think it was really a chance for them to show some creative flair, and they did a good job with it, I think.
Indeed. Which takes us into Tom's really specific favorite part of the film. I like Have You Seen My Dad? I think I don't know what rules of copyright they could have broken or loopholed. Why not just literally make him Nemo? Why not literally just make him look exactly, because that's obviously the gag, just make him look exactly like Nemo.
I think they got the joke across,
They have the bottle amplifier, which will then come back in change.
Yes.
That's a great gag.
Then I love Han Solo in the carbonite. I think the best joke in the film is Millicent Bystander. I think that is absolutely hilarious.
End of the line, Millicent.
Just the Roddy. No, I don't quite. I think it's just hilarious. And then what a favourite Yorkshire phrasing, David, is "shut that door, shut that door." And Ian McKellen just cannot resist going, "Shut that door," even though he's only talking to somebody a moment away from him. He has to go, "Shut that door."
Shut that door.
And yes, I'm a big fan of the Tom Jones, specifically Hugh Jackman singing "She's a Lady." The "We Surrender," we're going to war, we surrender. Oh no, that's very funny.
God, there's so many good mean French jokes thrown in.
And then the surf guy.
Yeah.
The one disappointed rat in all of London.
Will, your more specific favorite parts?
I've got a lot. Again, have you seen My Dad? I think that's how they get away with it because it's just
because it's a Yorkshire
Nemo. The Italian rat who is like, "Hey, it took me 3 years to draw."
How long is a rat year? How long is like a rat year?
Yeah, is the entire population of rodent London going to be dead within the next 2 years, essentially?
Yeah. Hopefully.
I think it's very short. Yeah, I mean, this is again the second rat in the sewer animation flick we've done.
Oh, he's only in the sewer for a moment in Ratatouille.
But he gets flushed away as well. The sea captain when he's making chips out of his hands. Very funny. Spike's entrance is just great. Spike and is it Whitey?
Yes,
incredible. To bring Harry back in. Harry couldn't make the podcast today, but he genuinely thinks this is Bill Nye and Andy Serkis's greatest performances.
I mean, wait a minute. And then Shane Ritchie's. Yeah. I was getting. Oh, we don't want to talk about it. I was getting. Everybody's called Shane or Spike or Spud or.
I've got. I kept my leg straight. Spike. That's great. Shocky. No one to Shocky. And then Wave. No, giant wave. Yeah.
England.
David, your specific gags, your favorite little moments.
Oh, there. One of my favorite moments is the arrival at Rita's house, and it's sort of this giant thing that's constantly about to fall apart, rocking back and forth with the movements of the family inside.
David
I do love that shot. The initial shots of like underground London and sort of like the Rat London area are just cool to take in and see. And I like going through the Toad's kind of collection of finer things. And I always love his line, "Huzzah, a man of quality." Just, oh God, such good. And yeah, any moment with the frog is always just so damn. And the final scene of the Jammy Dodgers, it kind of sinks down. I love the effect of the hand kind of coming up to wave goodbye as we see that wonderful set piece kind of go away.
On a James Cameron fortnight, David, what would the movie? We've already done Titanic, but on a James Cameron fortnight, what would you hop on for?
Avatar.
Okay.
Just because I haven't watched it since it came out.
See, what about you, Will? What's your top Cameron?
Oh, well, I've not watched Avatar all the way through. Still.
Ever?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got other movies. We've got Aliens,
Yeah,
we've got Terminators.
Aliens would probably be. Aliens would be the one that I would really truly enjoy, but Avatar is the one I haven't watched in the longest time.
Unobtainium. Dr. Grace Augustine. Okay, which takes us into Soundtrack Corner. Got a couple of banging tracks. Now, Will, am I remembering this wrong? Or was the Slugs singing Mr. Lonely, was that like the biggest thing? And was it like a ringtone?
I think it was it was someone else. It might even be Crazy Frog. But that was massive. I remember just sitting in White Rose and that always playing.
God. Shout out to the Slugs, though. Honestly, the ambiance they create as we initially meet Rita it's another one of my favorite parts of the film.
And it's just what do you call it? Crazy Frog's just Axel F. It is literally just have you never heard Axel F?
Well, no, of course I know. Monsters versus Aliens.
You bastard. Beverly Hills Cop. I know that's Jimmy Carr. I was trying to do Eddie Murphy's laugh. Eddie Murphy has a very similar laugh to Jimmy Carr. He goes, no, that sounds like a door. Which takes us into. Oh no, we've not even talked about the soundtrack. So Flushed Away, yeah. I mean, we split this up by doing best use of a song and best song full stop. I think best song full stop. I'm a huge fan of Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol, but that is also probably a contender for best use of a song.
I think the best use of a song is that very, very strange ending with What's New Pussycat.
I thought you were going to say Proud Mary there, and I was going to say that was my favorite song moment is sort of the rap.
I'm a big fan of the Slugs just randomly singing Proud Mary.
I mean, anytime the Slugs are on screen, it's a good time.
No, I mean, Proud Mary should probably take best song full stop.
Yeah.
Will, I think you've remembered something wrong. You once told me we were talking about Gilbert O'Sullivan, as we are known to do, and we talked, and you said that Alone Again Naturally was in this film.
Oh no, I said that was in Ice Age: The Meltdown.
Ice Age: The Meltdown. Yes. Apologies.
Oh no, it's not in Ice Age: The Meltdown. It's in Ice Age, the dinosaurs, Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Okay, let's see if we can do it. David, you can't speak because your dad actually worked on them. So you can't. So, but it's Ice Age: The Meltdown, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, Continental Drift,
and then something to do with space.
Space?
Yeah.
There was another one with space.
Okay, now. Ice Age. Let's have a look. Dennis Leary, John Leguizamo, Ray Romano. That was a great Oscars joke. Steve Martin. You go, oh, I can't wait for The Irishman. It's that new Ray Romano movie. Ray Romano, very good in The Irishman. Okay, Ice Age: The Meltdown, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, Continental Drift, Collision Course, and then Ice Age: Adventures of Buckwild, which the plot is currently unknown, but Simon Pegg is voicing Buck. Now, can we do the every Madagascar sequel? So Madagascar,
Escape to Africa.
Escape to Africa, yeah.
Yeah. Most Wanted.
Europe's Most Wanted.
Europe's Most Wanted.
And then there's a short called Madly Madagascar, a Valentine's Day special. and then there's also Merry Madagascar.
Yeah, when the penguins hijack the sleigh.
Was Madagascar Blue Sky or DreamWorks? That was DreamWorks, yeah.
Yeah, Madagascar, I believe was DreamWorks. Yeah, from the
DreamWorks
creators of
masters.
Yeah, from the creators of Shrek and Shark Tale.
Yeah.
Terrible tagline. Someone's got a zoo loose.
Ha!
I don't even know what that means. Is that a play on Zulu?
I have no clue. DreamWorks are truly the masters of beating a dead horse.
Which then thusly takes us into, I believe it's Oscar Travesty. So, Oscar Travesty. So it's not nominated for an Oscar. It's not even not. So this is in the days when you could they would nominate up to 5 films, obviously, for featured film, animated. And there was only 3. They didn't even give it a nomination. Happy Feet wins, Cars and Monster. We talked about this the other day, actually, Will, on the Prestige podcast. Happy Feet wins, Cars and Monster House are the other nominations. However, at the BAFTAs, the 3 nominations are Cars, Flushed Away, and Happy Feet. They get rid of Monster House and swap it for Flushed Away. Happy Feet wins again.
I don't know if Flushed Away is good enough for an Oscar, but maybe some of the voice performances, certainly. Ian McKellen comes to mind.
This must be so the BAFTA do the Rising Star Award. Listen to the Rising Star Award in 2006. Ava Green, Ben Whishaw, Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, and Naomi Harris. That's a pretty good. Wow. That's a pretty good. And the winners at the BAFTA, the Queen won Best Picture instead of The Departed. Ooh, we look after our own. Do you remember that year when King's Speech won everything? Terrible. Never been a big fan of. I've never been a big fan of the whole. He's not called Stephen Frears. He's called the guy who wrote The Queen, and he wrote the play, and he's writing The Crown. Peter Morgan. That's it. He's dedicated his life to
documenting the royal family.
Yeah. He's got a story by credit for Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know how that works. No. The story is Queen.
I went to see the play, The King's Speech, with Jason Donovan as the Geoffrey Rush part.
Wow. Who was the Colin Firth part?
Oh, I have no idea. I think it was just Jason as the name.
Did you watch Rain Man with Matthew Horn?
No.
No, I nearly did. I didn't. Somebody's just tweeted, stopped watching Broadchurch. Does Olivia Colman ever stop crying? Did you watch British Broadchurch, David, or American Broadchurch?
Didn't watch either one.
David Tennant was in both.
Oh.
He just did an American accent in the American one. And it was Skylar White played the Olivia Colman role. Will's favourite building or set?
Well, we've talked about it already. It's just underground Rat London. It's great. It's brilliant. There's bits that you recognise that are new every time, and it's just very clever.
Yeah, Underground Rat London and the Jamie Dodger. Anything on that boat, I think is a good time.
That doesn't matter because it's Will's favourite building or set, David. I'm sorry. Do you have an architecture degree?
My internet is terrible, so I'm catching like every third word.
That's all right. Best single minute. I have 3 nominations. I put the flush in best single minute. I understand the reveal of the London, but I like the flush itself. The Toad's collection is glorious, and his love affair with Prince Charles, which I am going to call a love affair. And then Proud Mary at the end. I mean, I really enjoy. I love Proud Mary, and slugs. A load of slugs singing it is suitably wacky enough for me to enjoy. Will, any your nominations for best single minute?
I've gone for Dancing with Myself. That opening section. It's a great little bit. Rita's House was another number. Yeah, and I've gone Proud Mary as well.
Very good. David, any nominations for best single minute?
I think the sinking of the Jammy Dodger, or where they, kind of the Jammy Dodger falls, they rise up and kind of pop out over, all of London, and we see the sky again for the first time. I think that's a nice shot.
I mean, they are dead. There is no way that bag holds. They are dead people.
It's all about the updraft, but yeah, it's and then probably the closing scene with Proud Mary. Although the approach of the wave, when you get the millions of slugs all screaming together as they come inching out of the sewer, always makes me laugh as well.
Yes, which thusly takes us into. I've said thusly 3 times this podcast, and I don't even think it's a word. Best line, Will. I mean, take your pick with your one-liners.
I've got many. Let's rally.
Let's round robin. Okay, David, kick us off before you go.
Huzzah!
Not before you go. Before you.
A man of quality.
You speak English with your Yorkshire and your Giuseppe. Well,
I've got a bum like a Japanese flag.
That is incredible. He was the one. I didn't realize it was Bill Nye. I was like, there was then and again inflections, but I don't know whether they affected his voice maybe a little bit for the big burly mouse, but it's a wonderfully different.
He was one I didn't know. I didn't know until today that Ian McKellen had voiced the Toad.
I don't know about that.
I had no idea, honestly.
Shut that door. I feel like "shut that door" is going to become a running joke now, along with all the Gary Oldman. Seemed like good idea at the time. We're starting with a pun attack. Your feet, Condell, and also any of the things that Javier Bardem screams at a burning house. Are you getting warm in there?
God.
Any weirdly specific quotes that you quote, David, that you get annoyed in the Shire with your Lord of the Rings people?
Oh God, I mean,
weird feet.
The big one for I think a lot of the Lord of the Rings fans: potatoes. Fry them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Wasn't that from Into the Woods? Greens, nothing but beans. Raping, pillaging me.
Let's put a rap.
I think somebody should put that to a techno beat, like make it an Eminem rap. Any other lines, Will?
One that I always thought was particularly clever was I know less than half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. That was a good one, but that has nothing to do with Flushed Away. So,
oh, was that Lord of the Rings again?
That's Lord of the Rings.
That's like, I watched this movie yesterday.
That line out.
which thusly takes us. Oh, sorry. Any other favourite lines, Will? And why? And thusly, Jesus Christ.
I've got quite a few. Any last requests? Yes. Could you fly quite suddenly off the boat screwing like a girl? That's quite a good one. Danger is my middle name. I thought it was Leslie. Bingo, Scrabble, enough games to the Ratmobiles. Mum, there's a peeping Tom outside. Tom? Oh, it's Tom Jones.
She just immediately jumps to Tom Jones. I think it'd be funnier if he comes in with the white shirt and the hair and the black trousers. Famously, what Tom Jones used to wear, and then he goes, "Oh."
I've got is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is that guy wearing my underpants? And then yes, I'm being attacked by a mad woman. She's got crayons. One chicken chow mein with wonton.
But that's not how they say it in the film, Will. How do they say it?
I'm doing all the accents, but that one.
But it's such a nuanced and dedicated portrayal of a Chinese person. What's the change, Will? Before I rail you,
Whoa!
Any changes yourself? Any changes yourself, Will?
I've not got a single change.
You bastard. David?
You know, I tried to think of one. I don't know. I think it's a solid adventure comedy romp. You know, I didn't really think that it needed anything in particular.
I've got a couple. I don't like burps, and burps are disgusting. I didn't like any of that. But right, okay, I'll do my smaller thing. I think they use the diegetic, non-diegetic music gag 3 times, and it's 3 times too many. The first time with the bottle is hilarious, and then every single time with the fucking toads. Yeah. Like Jesus,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? It's too much. You've run it into the ground.
First time is great. That's great.
Which leads me on to my biggest change. Fucking Spud. What a dick. I can't. I've never hated Shane Ritchie more in my life, and I saw him play Karateka Potts. My old bamboo. No, I like Shane Ritchie, but Spud was insufferable and so dirty and horrible. I felt disgust. I will not watch this movie again for a long time because of the fucking Spud shit and all the dirt and the burps. It's making me sick. I hate it. It's sick.
There had to be something to throw us into the sewer. I think he makes for a good counter to Rodney.
Fucking Shane Ritchie. Anything left from your notes, Will?
That's everything.
I just had all the England stuff. David, anything left from your notes?
No, that's everything for me.
Which takes us into a few fun facts. There is a statement in the closing credits, no slugs were assaulted in the making of this film. And IMDb is helpful here to say, the joke is that salt is deadly to slugs. Thank you, IMDb.
Always helpful.
And then during the closing credits, there's loads of slugs. So this is Aardman's first fully CGI feature film. The reason we've talked about it, the water. Hugh Jackman also provided the screams for the slug that Roddy first meets in the sewer. Well, you'll enjoy all of these. The books on Toad's shelf are Warts and Peace by Leo Toadstool.
Oh, very good.
Unfinished Verse by Long Tongue. A Brief History of Slime. The Tragic History of the Tragic History of the Great 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 Toad, Volume 1, followed by Volumes 2 to 4. I love the metamorphosis joke, by the way. I should have said that earlier with the cockroach reading. These are the people that were considered for the role of Lavrog. I don't know if they approached any of these people. Barry Humphries, who you'll know better as Dame Edna. Possums. Stellan Skarsgård.
What?
Lefrog, or somebody quick, call Lefrog. Lefrog isn't here. Bill Anderson. I'd like some ham. Oh, Sophie, I had a mother called Sophia. Oh, she said she left everything to her daughter. Michael Wincott, Kevin Kline, Jim Broadbent, and Johnny Depp.
Jim Broadbent.
Jim Broadbent. I mean, Kevin Kline, I mean, iconic. And these were people who were considered for Spike. I genuinely, never in all my life have I heard 5 more random names. And the fact that none of these people were approached. Marshall Efron, Kevin Pollock, William Shatner, Paul Walker, De Niro, and Robin Williams. Now, what is the correlation between Robert De Niro, William Shatner, Robin Williams, and Paul Walker?
Clearly they had no fucking clue what they wanted this character to be initially.
And for Spike's Andy Serkis, am I right, Will?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, no small parts, no small actors, whatever the fuck, other than Danny DeVito. But that's quite a small part for Robert De Niro to make his voice debut.
Have you seen Shark Tale?
Oh, sorry. Whoa, sorry. Well, yeah, no, then Shark Tale obviously will lead to it never wanting to. On the fridge, there is a picture of Shrek.
No.
Nicole Kidman was considered for the role of Rita. Well, we all know what I think about that choice. No, definitely. Oh, we've not even mentioned Kate Winslet yet.
Well done, Kate.
Yeah. It's just fine work.
I mean, it was a standout voice cast, you know. They all did a good job, basically.
Now, this is Hugh Jackman's first animated movie. Can you name the other 3 animated movies he's appeared in?
The Missing Link.
Correct. Wow, that was going to be my trump card. Incredible.
Wow.
Wow.
That was right. There's no hesitation at all.
And any others?
I can't think of the others.
The others, David, do you remember?
No fucking clue.
Happy Feet and Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, yes, he plays.
Oh, yeah.
The Easter Bunny.
Yeah. When scenes of Roddy's cage are shown, you can see a stuffed Alex the Lion. And okay, Will, I know this is a movie you really like. Jean Reno and Serene McKellen appeared in one other movie. What was it?
The Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code is correct.
Bizarre.
Oh, very good, very good. Jean Reno provided both English and French dubbing for Le Frog. And let's do some tagline rundown. Someone's going down. It's okay.
Yeah.
Plumbing soon is very good.
Plumbing soon is clever.
And then my personal favorite, this Halloween, get flushed. Which takes us into Tom's big question. What McDonald's toy from the Flushed Away range did you have as a child? I had Leto, the Frog, and the Toad.
No, I didn't.
What McDonald's toy did you have, Will, from the Flushed Away range?
I don't think I did have any.
Mine are probably still in the attic. You can have them. And then, did Roddy have sex with those dolls?
Definitely. 100%.
We know that Spud did.
We got to establish how long Roddy was alone in that household, you know.
He's a dirty bastard as well. Of all the women he takes out on a date, it's the one with the husband waiting at home.
And don't forget his brutal murdering of an honorable service member, you know, as soon as shit hit the fan.
Ooh, I'm sorry. And also, my other question. Did Charles have sex with the frog? It's very lonely in that palace. We know that they
He's
like to lick apples together.
He certainly kissed that toad once or twice.
Onanism in this house.
Two.
Which brings us to the end of Flushed Away. Next up, we've got The Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists, which you're very excited for me to see, Will, aren't you?
I am. It was in the era of the Hugh Grant Renaissance. So he was doing this in Paddington 2 at around the same time, and it was magnificent. And people went, you know what, he's back.
He's back, Hugh's back. And with The Undoing, he's only gotten back, playing just a bastard, a real, but a very, very, very good in that series. Not the best series, not as good as Big Hell Live. Say it. But yeah, Nicole and Hugh just being a wonderful.
And what was it? A very British or English scandal that he did, and that was
very British scandal.
Yeah, that was superb.
Bunny, a little bunny. Did you watch any of these things, David?
Nope, not a one. So,
do you remember the name of the prostitute that Hugh Grant went with?
No. God.
Divine Brown. Will, on our Paddington 2 episode, we had the lovely guest Alice Priest, who's a wonderful, wonderful woman. But I think Will suspected her of not. Will was worried about what sort of jokes I'd be making, and he literally said to me before recording the Paddington 2 episode, "Don't mention Divine Brown." As if I was gonna. What's your best single minute? I think it was when he got that blowjob in a car. Are we talking in his life or in the film?
That's not very Paddington.
Not very Paddington. Well, you know what's less Paddington? Fucking Ben Whishaw and.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what made it worse.
He just about nearly split me in half. Wonderful, very British scandal.
Wish I had a recording of you doing that forever there, Tom.
A recording of me doing what?
You practically split me in half.
Oh, you probably, well, you will. You can. It's live. Everybody can clip me going. Ben Whishaw. Well, it nearly split me in half. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. David, you are on for 45 years in less than. You're at the end of June. You've kicked off the end of June, and you'll end our July as well. So
quite a privilege.
Very, very similar films flushed away in 45 years. Both meditations on
a lot of the same themes going through both of them. You know,
the loss of love, and slowly deterioration of a relationship.
We'll catch up with Roddy and Rita sometime later on. You know.
Yeah, there's never been a flushed away sequel even flirted with. I did my research, and they haven't even. I think. Well, I mean, obviously it was a bomb. It was a big bomb. And DreamWorks, I believe, have no intent. Correct me, Will. Is this Aardman's first and last CGI animated film?
No, they did not Fred Claus. That's Kevin Spacey. Arthur Christmas.
Oh yeah, one of the world's worst. No, that's
terrible.
Right. I hated Arthur Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well. Thanks for ruining my day, Will, by bringing that up. Flushed away. David, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Will, any what flushed away comment do you want to end on?
Oh, I'm coming, Mr. Jones.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba.